Hi, I'm Derek McDonald of Surefire, maker of the world's finest illumination tools, suppressors, and tactical accessories. We're here today in the Angeles Forest on our way to ITTS, International Tactical Training Seminars. Our mission today, test Surefire's new X400 white light laser combo. This little beauty has been on the drawing board for a few years and we finally got it out. This represents the pinnacle of light laser technology. Our mission today, take it to ITTS co-owner and lead instructor, Scotty Reitz. Scotty's a 30-year veteran of the LAPD, where he spent 26 years working with the Elite Metro Division and 10 years working with D Platoon. D Platoon is LAPD SWAT. Scotty's an expert in weapons and tactics. He teaches military, law enforcement, and civilians. He would never recommend a piece of gear unless he was willing to stake his own life and that of his partners on it, because that's what Surefire does. We build products that save our customers' lives and bring them home at the end of the day. So come on, let's go see what Scotty has to say. Hey, Scott! Hey!
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. How's everything going?
Good. Thanks for being up here at the Eagle's Nest today at ITTS. Well,
my pleasure.
We've talked about it on the phone a couple of times. Here it is, Surefire's new X400.
All right, take a look at this baby. Okay, this is, so I understand it, this is machined out of solid aluminum, yes?
It's machined from a solid piece of bar stock, aerospace grade aluminum, microprocessor control. You know, we believe it's the finest white light laser combo that you can get. It's been built on our previous generations of white light weapon lights. As you know, Surefire sort of invented the game, actually with the help of LAPD back in the 1984 Olympics. We were the first company to make a consumer, commercially available laser. I don't know if you remember the first Terminator movie. You know the poster, it's got Schwarzenegger on it, and he's holding a AMT long slide hardballer, and it's got a laser on it. We actually made that laser for him. That was a prototype, but this is our first white light laser weapon light combo.
It's a dedicated system.
It's a dedicated system. This is 110 lumens,
okay,
and
so
that's actually measured coming out of it, not measured at the LED, none of those sort of tricks that you might run into. We've established that 50 lumens is sort of the minimum threshold for momentarily blinding somebody at close range whose vision is night adapted. So it's more than twice the minimum standard you need.
Well, the first thing I look at the what I call hardened. I look for anything, rifle systems, pistol systems, lighting systems, doesn't matter. I'm looking for a hardened system. All the Surefire stuff that I've worked with in the past has always been just like that. I mean, these things are very, very well made. You guys have always stood by your products, and they take a phenomenal abuse. I think I have some of the original Surefire lights from, God, in the 80s.
Great.
I've got a couple of them, and those things still work to this day. The next thing I look for is I look for the most concentrated amount of light that I can possibly get out of a light. One of the things I need in shootings and real-world applications is I have to be able to definitively tell whether or not it's a shoot, no shoot, what we call discriminatory target selection.
Okay, good.
So I've got to be able to see if it's a shoot, no shoot, especially in police applications, but now that's becoming even more predominant in military applications as well. If you have a hardened system, you've got one that's putting out a lot of lumens and I can see what I'm doing, then that helps me to make the correct decisions, obviously, in the field, especially when I'm under stress. What's kind of neat here is how you've integrated the laser system in conjunction with this. I haven't really used a whole lot of lasers in the past. So what we're going to do out here today, we're going to mount it not only in a pistol, but also in a rifle. Run it during the day. We're going to run it at night. Run it on multiple targets, run it at distance. We're going to run it on moving target systems. I'll show you how, one of the things that I thought about is how we can use this as an offset capability for rifles, so it abrogates or completely circumvents having to offset a rifle up close. There are a lot of applications for this, and they really transcend just normal live fire applications. There are other things that we can use for it.
Why the X400? I mean, there's other white light laser combos out there on the market. And so, you know, basically what our product development team and our engineering team did was look at all the other products that were out there, because there really wasn't a reason to build it if we couldn't do it better. You know, Surefire has always dedicated itself to a mission, never to building to a price point. We've always built with the intention of bringing our warfighters, peacekeepers, and armed civilians home safe and secure from their mission, their home defense, whatever the case may be. So we looked at all the other products out there, and one of the first things we saw was a lot of lasers don't have the ability to hold zero round after round. This laser does. We've developed the mount to do it. We've developed the adjustment system in here. It's extremely robust. Hundreds of rounds, no zero shift or negligible zero shift. I know you're going to run it through the ringer, and I have a lot of confidence in the product too.
Outstanding. Well, what we'll do is we'll put it through its paces, and it looks like it's hardened, so let's just prove it.
Scott, we've got a new X400 here for you, but before we get going with that, let's just do a verification that the weapons are safe.
Confirm.
Great.
Clear. And confirm clear.
Excellent. Good. So, you know, it's pretty simple. It's pretty intuitive. So what I'm going to do, I'll just basically tell you, you've got a bar in here, cross member. It's going to fit up into the matching bar in the bottom of your rail. You just basically loosen up the rail. There's a thumb screw on this side. Index it up in there. Hand tighten it down. You'll feel just a positive click. And then by some coincidence, I have a Surefire Delta knife right here.
Imagine that.
Yeah, the Delta's actually got a screwdriver built into the back here, and so it just sort of fits into the slot right there, and then you can tighten it up the rest of the way, and then it's off to the firing line to zeroed up. So with that one, I'll let you try your hand at it.
So basically, we've got a male to female coupling here.
Sure.
So I use this index bar right there, and you can see it just right there, just like that.
That's
one
it.
motion. Pretty cool.
No,
very
it's
smart.
about as simple gets.
Well designed. Crank it down by hand. Come across, and I'll use my little. What I always did in the old days in Deepwood, when we first started mounting lights, is I kept the light mounted on it. I would imagine with the laser, you pretty much want to keep it dedicated. You don't want to shift it on and off because you're looking at a change possibly in zero. I
think it's just best for a system like this. Basically, it's a sighting system. You know, if it's just the weapon light, it doesn't matter because you've got a gross margin of error with the width of the beam. But for a laser, you're absolutely right. Leave it on. You know, just get yourself a dedicated holster system for it. Blade Tech, side armor. I'm pretty sure Safariland's going to be coming out with a holster for this if they haven't got one out already. And then, you know, leave it set up. That way you always have the confidence that the weapon's zeroed where you left it last.
Okay. One of the things I thought might be kind of interesting is, we'll see how long this thing will hold at zero and do it over a couple hundred rounds. So what I'm going to do is I'll call my son Jordan over.
Good.
And we'll get him over here and we'll have him start working on the paper. You and I are going to go off and do some other evolutions. We'll see what happens. Hey, Jordy. Jordan, you know Derek from a while back. This is Jordan.
Good to see you again. How are you, buddy?
Okay. Good. What we're going to do is we want to see how long this thing is going to maintain its zero. So what we're going to have you do initially is come out here. We put this on, initially sight it in. We're going to go ahead and have you do a couple of shots, and we're going to leave you to your own devices, put a couple hundred rounds through it, just nice slow pace, and just keep on working on it, work the distances. And then if you want, then you can come over here and start working the steel, go back to distance and everything. All right. And you can kind of go back and forth between the sights and between the laser, and we'll confirm it, all right? Okay. So if you would, yeah, why don't we just get the eyes and ears on, and face down range. And we'll get that slide forward, and take your time. Not any kind of speed fest, so go ahead and come out to low ready. There you go. Okay, nice and easy, just give me one shot. Come up, use your sights first. Right in there. Again, up on target. Give me another shot. You can really see that thing when it starts moving, right? There you go. Same hole. Dead center. Very good. And just keep on working through it, just nice and slow, okay? Okay. All right, good job.
Scott, I'm interested in getting your perspective on applications for the X400, both law enforcement and civilian home defense.
Okay, well, first of all, I use the laser as a supplemental tool. If I get into an unconventional position where for some reason I can't use my sights, this allows me to have some aiming device that will simply supplement or take up the slack for the fact that I've lost my mechanical sights. So what I'm looking for is a tool which heretofore we never had, which is a laser which is dedicated to the pistol. In this case, you've actually been able to mate it to a lighting system, and now we have a hardened system which is going to be dependable, it's reliable, and what I'm able to do now is I can take the pistol and I can use it in all different configurations. It can also be used in a training environment, training mode, and what I do there is I can work on trigger press, I can work on follow through. I'm able to come up, I'm able to press, I can see there's going to be a certain amount of motion.
It's a diagnostic tool.
Absolutely.
Good.
And so that's very, very well put. So it's got a lot of applications, and probably there are going to be more applications as we start using this that we're going to come up with. I may track across a guy that's running, and I go from a well-lit area into a dimly lit area down to a partially lit area. And in that space of, say, 50, 75 feet, I may come up with different types of sighting systems because as I'm coming across, I'm losing the sights here, but I'm picking them up here, but now I'm off here. If I would have the laser, that might help, so we'll see.
At Surefire, we believe it's a good tool for specific applications, and it's not the best tool for all applications. We believe for good marksmanship, good combat marksmanship, you need to be able to shoot with iron sights. Yes, use the laser, unconventional positions. If you have failing eyesight, which many people get later in life.
And that's an excellent point.
Yeah, but as a training tool, remember that if you start, shooting from the hip, or not locking out to a fully extended position for shooting, you can also ingrain bad habits with the laser. So we want to make sure people understand it's not a do-all tool, it's not a replacement for the sights, it really is supplemental.
But it's a wonderful, wonderful ancillary tool to the other tools that we've already got. But this is just one more thing thrown into the mix that you may have to pull out. And all it's got to do is save one life, and it's worth its weight in gold. You agree?
I agree.
And I agree with you, brother. There you
Great.
go.
All right.
Okay, good job.
All comes down to the fundamentals, doesn't it?
It always has, always will, and I can't see that ever changing now. Okay, so Derek, what we're going to do is we'll take the pistol out to extended distance. We're going to work on a target out here that's 36 inches tall, 22 inches wide, and 125 yards out.
That one, right by the white rock out there.
Right by the white rock, just about 12 o'clock, just above it. And we're going to try again at night. Coming out here, we'll try using the laser reference shooting to where that white rock is. I already know where the target is, so we'll do that as if it was a muzzle flash or something like that later on, all right?
125 yards at night.
Yeah. So we come up, nice and easy. There we go.
Nice.
Okay. So there's the
Look like
shot.
you've done that before.
Once or twice, yeah.
Great. Well, do you mind if I give it a shot right now?
Not at all, let's go.
Okay, good. It's not often you get to shoot pistol at ranges like this.
Nope.
On steel too. Okay, so you're just, you said an important thing is just let it roll and don't try to manage the follow-up shot.
Yeah, forget the recoil. Just let the pistol roll, and everything's got to be just super, super refined. Super gentle trigger press, stay on the sights, just let it roll. Very good.
Sweet.
Well, I'll tell you what, very impressive, young man, because that is not easy.
All right.
Okay? Outstanding, good job.
Thank you very much.
And that's quite a distance. We're going to see if we can pull this off at night.
Great.
One of the problems that's plagued us in the community for many, many years is the fact that with a rifle up close, you have to offset.
Sure.
And when you're talking offset, if I have optics, such as the optics we're going to be using in this rifle, if I'm looking through the optics, I would actually have to place a crosshair up here in order to hit down here, because the centerline axis of my scope tube is well above the centerline axis of the bore. If I go to iron sights, it's not quite as much, but I still have to offset. If I need a precision shot, such as a hostage situation, or I've got to get it close, there's an intermediate barricade which is interposed between myself and the suspect, and this is the only shot that's afforded to me, what I need to be able to do is I need a definitive point of aim, point of impact. What if we take the X400, mount it to the right side of the rifle? You have an additional light. It's nominal in weight, it's hardened, it's locked into the system, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a point of aim, point of impact at 21 feet and in. That means if I get in close, all I have to do, both eyes open, coming up, I'm achieving the stock weld. As soon as I come up on the stock weld here, I lock in, both eyes are open. It's an occluded eye gun sight now. One eye is focused on the target, one is focused on the dot itself, the laser.
Sure.
My point of aim, point of impact is the same. That gives me speed, it gives me a wide field of view, and it allows me to strike it.
And
exactly
under stress, you don't have to remember that and make that calculation.
I don't have to offset.
Under stress,
I do not have to offset. I now have all kinds of options on my sighting system. Everything from at distance, up close.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay, from a slow position. Now, when we're coming up here, from a low ready, if I'm moving, come up, and again, I've got the sight on, you can see the laser right there, there's the shot. If I go to speed, right there, just like that.
Yeah, no time lost finding your sight.
I've got both eyes open, and what I'm doing is, it's called what we call occluded eye gun sight. Basically, I have one eye which is focused on the target, but the other eye is picking up the laser dot. Go ahead and try it. Good. So what I do is come to low ready, just go slow first. Just all you do, keep both eyes open. It's going to be a little bit different. So you keep both eyes open, just watch the dot, hold it steady, and gently press. So go ahead and do it real slow, so you kind of get a feel for it.
Sure.
Light on right where those other shots are, pretty much. Right there, center in the forehead, and gently press. There you go. Wherever that dot is, you're going to hit.
Yep.
So what I'm doing now is I'm using both eyes open. There you go. Same hole. Same hole. There you go. Same hole. Right there. Beautiful. What do you think?
Simple, effective, works, and you've got your full field of vision.
Exactly. You also have a supplemental light. But if you notice, what this allows me to do, I come in close quarters, I don't have to go through the optics, don't have to go through the iron sights. Instead, both eyes open, laser, very quick, very rapid, there you are. I just solved a major problem, which has been a shooting dilemma for people with rifles up close for many, many years.
That's great.
Jordan.
Yeah.
How you doing there, buddy?
Good.
Okay, well, what do you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. I put a bunch of rounds on the steel, about 200 through the paper targets.
Okay.
And yeah, I enjoyed it.
The zero, as far as you can see, that zero remained zero the entire time, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. So 200 rounds about downrange,
Yeah.
and good consistent zero hold. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for running the test for us.
Yeah, you're not getting it back, so.
Well, you know, that's good, because we were going to give it to you for your efforts anyways, but you've certainly earned it.
No, I appreciate it. It really was a lot of fun.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot,
right.
Jordan. Hit it! Hit it!
Derek, what I did here is the vast majority of these shots were accomplished using the laser. On some of the shots, I just reverted back to mechanical because, as you know, what we're doing is taking this pistol, the X400, we're putting it through its paces. So what I wanted to see is I used a lot of laser on this thing, and then a couple times I reverted back just to make sure, just basically what I'm doing is reaffirming the zero. Is the zero still holding? Yes, it is. Okay, obviously with the laser, it makes it a lot easier. I don't have to pick up the mechanical sights. I'm not worried about a horizontal and vertical aspect relative to one another. I'm just coming on. I've got the dot right about here for most of these runs, and this is about 9.5 miles an hour, so you can see that coming in here, I'm just focusing. I still have a solid firing platform. I'm still leaning into it. I'm doing all the good techniques, engaging moving targets, and a lot of fluidity in my motion and everything else, and I'm tracking with them a good follow-through. But I'm simply using depending on which direction this guy's going, I'm taking the laser and I'm putting it right about here, and this is where I'm obtaining most of my hits center mass. So this one I kind of punched out.
Let's see if I got it right here. You got the white light. You're able to deny your opponent, if it's an opponent, a threat. You're able to deny them the vision to be able to precisely see where you're at, so that's an advantage. You're able to clearly identify whether it's a threat or a friendly, and you're able to use the laser for a very fast sighting device on a moving target.
That's correct.
Good.
And so it's proved its worth on this. Let's try it with the rifle real quick.
There it is. Okay, let's do it. Hit it!
Again. And again. This guy's going about 9.5 miles an hour, working it very quickly, shouldering, good stock weld, both eyes open, point of aim, point of impact. So I don't have to offset at this distance. Normally I would. If I use optics, mechanical sights, I'd have to offset. I'm putting, you can see, basically in your vertical aspect, exactly where I had point of aim, point of impact, and this is just all leads into how smooth I was. You want to try this?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to work the pistol out a little bit.
Again, hit it. Again. Stay on him, hold. Again. And holster, good job. All right, brother, let's go forward and see how you did. Okay. Pretty good group, look at this, right in there. This one is actually a hard shot because this is when you really extend it out there, so you got this guy going away from you.
Yeah, so you're that's an angled shot.
Yeah, it's probably about 12, 13 yards away by the time you hit this, but look at this. Shots are right in there, you're on the, and again, where were you holding the laser? Pretty much kind of in here?
You know, I was basically holding just off of center mass with the laser at that speed.
Great.
I mean, the laser makes it so much easier. I think it would have had half the round count out if I was using iron sights. Just the time to index the sights, line them up, have that confidence, and then start the trigger squeeze. I'd say I was able to execute that action twice as fast.
Well, it's a good tool. You know, one of the things I talked about before, that 125, you kind of disbelieve me, we're going to try it. It's a very, very challenging shot. Target is rather indistinguished, but 125 yards at night, and you said you couldn't do it. I think there's a strong possibility you can, so.
Well, I got lucky in the daylight with a 125-yard target, but I hate to talk myself out of it.
Okay, let's try it.
I don't think there's any way, though. But
I think you can.
So I'm going to use our new M3LT and the X400 light.
All right.
We'll give it the old Rogers Surefire.
Okay. Possibly 1 o'clock, about a foot. Yes!
Bingo. Okay, I got it now.
Outstanding. Oh, please.
We actually stopped earlier today before we got up to the Eagle's Nest to film the intro to this video. That our mission was to get Scotty Reetz's stamp of approval on the X400. So tell me, how do we do?
Fantastic. Great piece of equipment. It's hardened. Again, like all the Surefire products, very well made. A lot of innovation that's gone into this. Definitely pushing to the forefront of research. You guys have always done that. Always been a pleasure, you know, working with your equipment. The thing that I really like about it, it's a hardened system. It locks into the pistol. The laser is, you know, real innovative, and now we've got that dedicated to the light. The lumen output is much greater. You could see that. It was readily apparent and very, very clear delineation on the moving target when I came across that. The nice thing is having that laser, which is dedicated to the light, and it also coexists with the mechanical sight. So it's a great, great tool, fantastic piece of equipment, and I really enjoyed it. And always good to see you again, young man. So
likewise, likewise.
Okay. All right.
Let's pack it up and go home.
I think so.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. See you later.